South Carolina Congresswoman Nancy Mace, who had just had a meeting with the Oversight Committee regarding the Clintons' deposition. Congresswoman, are we going to see some people in bracelets or what?
Well, one would like to think so. I highly doubt it, though. I have lost all confidence in America's justice system. We've seen the UK do in a few days what the U.S. has had for 2 decades, basically. They've had all this information. They've been sitting on it. I think it's because Epstein was an asset of the CIA and possibly a dual agent for other countries as well. But we're not doing anything about it. We're just sort of brushing it under the rug. And this doesn't stop until people get arrested in the United States.
Yeah, well, that's actually the most shocking thing, is the possibility of him being an asset of the government, which is like, well, what were they doing? You know, they had to have known what this guy was doing, and was he doing it to blackmail people? We know that, you know, Ehud Barak, the former PM of Israel, was conversing with him about career counseling. Like, there's crazy stuff. Kathy Rumler, the former White House counsel under Barack Obama, was sharing sensitive information with him.
And he brags about being in a skiff. He brags about, or questions a CIA data dump or something in some of the emails. I also want to know, was he paid by the U.S. government for any of the files that he had on any foreign leaders or dignitaries or former presidents and prime ministers and princes? What was he paid for that, if anything?
Yeah, well, that's another thing, which you would think would be easy to follow the money, but, you know, with this government stuff. But crowdsourcing obviously is the biggest help in all this stuff. And we found one that Epstein actually kind of like admits to his own allegations here. In 2018, Epstein receives an email from someone named Masha saying Katya has a law firm, corporate law. She can understand blockchain regulations and ecosystem as well. Azalea's firm is a film director. She's working on human rights VR movie. Alexandra is an actress, an art expert, has business deals. All of them are smart, high energy, and great. To which Epstein responds, "Your friend Azalea told me about the project she's doing, researching really bad guy that gets children for sex sent to his island. She almost fainted when I told her that person is me." Let's round up the people that were talking to him.
Right. We need to round them up, and we need to know why they were given immunity or why they weren't prosecuted, why the federal charges were dropped. If it's not going to happen at the DOJ, it needs to happen on the Oversight Committee. And I am assembling a list of people that I want to bring in and testify and or be investigated to get answers. We will be with the Clintons later this week, the Oversight Committee, Republicans and Democrats alike. And I think it's less about, you know, the woman in the hot tub. That's important. But why was this? What was this power relationship between the haves and the have-nots? Why were these billionaires hanging out with a convicted pedophile? What did they get out of it? And I think it's much bigger than anything we've ever talked about before.
Yeah. Here's the other thing that really goes. It's almost like we called this a while back. But J.P. Morgan, obviously, on Friday, they admit for the first time that they cut off more than 50 Trump accounts in February of 2021. Like Trump's been saying all along that they told him was a hoax, but it actually is true. But now a bank spokesman said that that's, as a rule, J.P. Morgan obviously closed the accounts, quote, because they create legal or regulatory risk for the company. So I'm thinking to myself, if Trump had his accounts canceled, why the hell was J.P. Morgan Chase totally fine being involved with Epstein for like processing like $1 billion of transactions?
And those transactions were likely flagged by the Treasury. I'm sure that I would assume that they were aware of that. They were probably also aware of the financial transactions, like alleged Ponzi schemes that Epstein was involved with. And it wasn't just sex trafficking. I believe there was financial issues that are happening with billionaires all around the world. I'm sure they had to know something about that through all of this, too. And they just ignored it like everybody else. A convicted pedophile, who cares? We're still going to do business with them. It's nuts. It's insane. No, it's insane. Well, Congresswoman Nancy Mace, I really appreciate you fighting for this stuff, and I hope we get to the bottom of this. So thank you. I sure will, Carl. Thank you.
Also, I hear your mom's a big fan. Tell her I said thank you for watching.
Huge fan.
Well,
She's going to love this. Thank you.
He loves the Constitution. He fights for what's right. He hates the bad guys. He's a freedom warrior. He's your freedom warrior. Watch Carl Higbie every weekday on Newsmax.